Hello my dear friends, I am Prashant Mavani and I warmly welcome all of you to StudyIQ. I hope you all are doing good. Today is 26th March and let's see what we have got in our PIB today. But before that, identify the person that you can see on your screen. And the last person was from Germany, who was standing with our Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Many of you have got it right. And with this, dear friends, before moving ahead, I would like to inform all of you that today we are going to talk about a very important topic, and it's based on our parliament. We are basically asking this question to ourselves that is our parliament or has our parliament become a bit irrelevant in today's time because of the things that are going on? And you find this type of things or this type of questions in your mains examination. So before you write your answer, you should have some current affairs based information, right? Your answer should be logical, and if you provide some good examples based on current affairs, then you can fetch good marks. So I will try to provide you some good examples, and based on that we will try to find out this answer to this question, that whether parliament has become irrelevant or not. But before that, this is my Facebook page from where you can download the PDF of this lecture. And StudyIQ provides pen drive and tablet courses for various different exams. As you can see on your screen, we cover UPSC, SSC, bank and defense exams, state level exams, KVS, CLAT and question papers. Basically your test series that will help you immensely for your upcoming exam is out there as well. So make sure you check out StudyIQ.com. Now, Mann Ki Baat program was delivered by Narendra Modi yesterday, and you know we have talked about this thing that Mann Ki Baat is a very important program because on this platform you find our Prime Minister talking about many important issues. When I say important, I'm talking about issues that are of national importance, have been discussed by Prime Minister, and many times he provides you, or he talks about many important schemes. He provides some thought-provoking ideas as well, food for thought and other things, and he will express his vision as well. So it is important for all those students preparing for national level exams, even state level exams, that you follow this once a month program, Mann Ki Baat. It's a political program, so it's not a program that is of BJP. It is Prime Minister of India having a conversation with, or a dialogue with, citizens of our country. Right, so he talked about agriculture reform. Now I'm sure you know about agriculture many things because we have talked about this thing in detail, isn't it? This is not the first time we are discussing agriculture. And when I say agriculture reforms, then you should have a couple of points in your mind. What are the problems that are faced by our farmers or people associated with agriculture sector? And one problem is not getting fair price for their crop. Government is trying its level best to ensure that our farmers are getting a fair price for all their produce. Prime Minister talked about this government's effort to connect this, or build a bridge between this village mandis, a bridge or a line that is connecting this village mandis with wholesale mandis and global markets. He also talked about this not e-way bill, sorry. He talked about this ENAM, that is Electronic National Agriculture Market, and he also talked about this reforms in APMC, and through this we can achieve or provide this access to village mandis, or farmers of village mandis, to wholesale markets and global markets. There are many things that we have to do, no doubt. He also talked about this budget, this latest budget, in which we took a very important decision of providing 50, or you can say 150%. Basically what it means is that, say if your total cost of production for 1 kilo of rice is 100 rupees, I'm just giving you one example here. So if it is 100 rupees, then you will get at least 150 rupees as MSP, right? So 100 rupees will be covered, and on top you will get 50% extra. So this is a way how government is going to help our farmers with this. He also talked about this conventional approach of our health sector. The thing is, we are not performing very well in terms of producing doctors every year. We produce somewhere around 1 lakh doctors, and the population of, if you see this thing or in context of population of our country, then you know it very well that this 1 lakh doctors are not enough. We need more doctors. For that we need more medical colleges and universities. The other thing is, till now we have focused on conventional method, building more hospitals and government hospitals and private hospitals, when we see, then we know that most of the hospitals are private hospitals nowadays, isn't it? And the facility that you get in government hospitals, generally speaking, are not up to the mark. So for a poor person, a poor family, they have no option, but they have to go to this public hospitals. And just in case if they reach these private hospitals, then they have to sell their properties and things like that. So basically what we can say here is, so far this health sector has been inaccessible and unaffordable for common men. But now we are trying to cover this thing by providing this health insurance, this Ayushman Bharat Yojana. If implemented properly, then this will change, or it will become a big milestone in the history of health sector in our country, because building hospitals may take time, but for time being we can provide a good insurance cover through which they can access to this facilities that they have in, or we have in this private hospitals. But for that government has to ensure that smooth flow of money is there, and we also need to focus on more production of medicines, because India is a country that is number one in pharmaceutical sector. Most of our private players are doing very well in this pharmaceutical sector. We are exporting and supplying medicines to many African countries as well. In fact, developed countries are purchasing medicine from us. But it is sad that we find this situation, that our public distribution system, when we talk about pharmaceutical sector, we don't find, like say for example, take example of TB. You know that it was reported back in 2016 that we ran out of this TB medicines in many hospitals. So this scenario should not be there. We have this Jan Aushadhi Kendra which is working very well. We have 3,000 Jan Aushadhi Kendras in our country. They are doing very good job, but we need more of them, and we need to have at least one Jan Aushadhi Kendra in every village. This should be our target, even though if it is a small one, a customized one, but we need one. And he also talked about Baba Ambedkar. Now we are going to celebrate Baba Ambedkar's, Government of India is going to celebrate Baba Ambedkar's birthday. It is going to associate many missions with it, and I have a couple of questions as well associated with Baba Ambedkar for you guys today by the end of this lecture. Now I'm not sure if you are aware about this thing, that Baba Ambedkar was of course well famous. He was well known for his polity and governance, but apart from that he was also excellent in economics as well. And it was his dream that India should become an industrial superpower, and Make in India is something that is in line with Baba Ambedkar's dream. Moving on to another item, Union Information and Broadcasting Minister Smriti Irani today launched a program for transforming this Narmada district. Narmada is a district, it's a river, we know, but it is a district in Gujarat as well. And this district is one of this aspirational district. It is not performing that good in terms of education, because the recent board exams results are very poor. Improvement in educational standard is the need of the hour as far as this Narmada district is concerned. So she has launched this Transforming Narmada, Transforming India 2022. Now Niti Aayog has came out with this 49 indicators that are important for development of any place, action plan basically, and this will be applied here in Narmada district. The good thing about Narmada district is that the Statue of Unity, Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat, is being constructed here in this Narmada district, and this will bring many tourists over here, right? And once it will be completed, it will bring huge amount of tourists from domestic as well as international tourists, and this will change. It will create many employment opportunities for this district, and this will help. Now, one-horn rhinoceros. Assam is famous for it. Kaziranga National Park is world famous for this one-horn rhinoceros, and it is a World Heritage Site as well. I have a question for you guys. Which organization declares this World Heritage Sites? Do pass me your answer in the comment section. And last year, in 2015, when the last survey was, the census was conducted, we used to have 2,401 rhinoceros in our national park. Now let's see how many we have got this year. The results will be out 28th. Let's cross our fingers. Let's hope that we will have more than 2,400, because they are being poached, because there is this superstitious belief in many countries that by using this one-horned rhinoceros, this is basically used for many these superstitious activities, and because of this you find this poaching going on. But Kaziranga is also famous for its strict vigilance, and you can shoot down a poacher if you sight one poacher. So this is working very well and in conservation of our rhinos as well as our tigers. Moving on to another item, it is about Saras RGV Camela. Now this Mela, this whole gathering is basically to promote rural employment, keeping in mind rural women. And we know that our rural women, they work very hard. It is very strange. One thing that I would like to highlight here, that porters, farmers, right? Most of this thing is, if you go through the figures, then you will find that when we say this word kisan, when we say kisan or a farmer in Hindi, the picture that is generated in our mind is of a man, isn't it? But if you go through the realities, then you find that more women are working in agriculture. Same thing applies with making ports and other things. But then as well, we don't have proper female word for these things, for this professions. This indicates that we are not that much focused when it comes to, when I say we, I mean to say as a society, not as a government. So we need more focus. We need to pay attention to this requirement of women, rural women particularly, and they work for this. They work under this self-help group, and there are many good examples as well. And government is supporting this rural livelihood of women by this Din Dayal Antyodaya Yojana. It is creating employment opportunities for our rural women, and this Saras Ajivika Mela will basically work as a platform that can place this items or produce that are produced by this rural woman on national as well as international level. Another item is pertaining to this Down syndrome. Now this Down syndrome is celebrated every year on 21st March. It was on 19th December, right? 19th December 2011, when United Nations General Assembly declared that we will celebrate this World Down Syndrome Day on 21st March every year. And a national conference was held in Delhi, and a book is released. Just keep the name of this book in your mind, because many times you find this type of questions in your bank and other exams. So not in UPSC, but in other exams you find this type of questions pertaining to books. So Twilight's Children is a book that is pertaining to this Down syndrome. And Down syndrome is basically a chromosomal condition associated with intellectual and learning disabilities. It basically hampers this development, and it creates this behavioral problems and other things. But one of the most important thing that we should keep in our mind is that we are stakeholders. If we are living with a person, or if we are part of a surrounding of a person who is affected by this Down syndrome, then it is our duty and responsibility to ensure that we are providing them as good environment as possible, so that their struggle is reduced to whatever extent we can. Making fun of these people is something that is definitely not good. It indicates, if someone is making fun of this sort of people, then I personally believe this is a sheer indication of a dirty and untrained mind, right? Unsensitive, you can say that person would be, insensitive that person would be, who is not respecting someone who is affected by any sort of disease. Anyways, we have another news item which is very important associated with this International Solar Alliance. International Solar Alliance has agreed, or it has basically signed an agreement called Host Country Agreement with MEA of our country. With this agreement, ISA will become a juridical personality, and this juridical personality basically gives its this ISA a right to purchase property, immovable and movable property. So basically you can say the wheel is in motion now. ISA is an important you can say treaty or alliance, and we have discussed about this thing in detail when President Macron was here in our country, isn't it? So I'm sure I don't have to go into the details, but just a recap, I may say, in terms of recap, ISA is going to change geopolitics in near future. The day when all these countries under ISA umbrella, when they will start picking up or plucking this fruit of ISA in terms of energy security, right, it will change this geopolitics. All those countries who are oil producing countries, our reliance on them will come down, and this will bring some new major powers. So it is going to be a big thing. It's not just about environment, it's not just about energy security, it is about geopolitics as well. Moving on to same item but different thing. Remember this figure as well, that under ISA we have to mobilize $1,000 billion, that is $1 trillion investment into solar sector to produce 1,000 gigawatt of solar capacity. This is a big thing. At present, ISA has 4 ongoing programs. One is the solar application for agriculture use. Then you have affordable finance at scale, scaling mini grids, solar mini grids, and solar rooftops. These are the 4 important programs that are going under ISA. Now coming on to our important topic on parliament, the question whether this temple of democracy is becoming irrelevant or not. Now the thing is, what we have seen in last 2 or 3 weeks, consistently we have seen that this parliament, right, we have seen that in the morning it opens up, then you see this uproar. MPs are running like Usain Bolt and hitting this well of our parliament, and basically after a couple of minutes or half an hour or something, you will find that it is shut down again. Money, taxpayers' money is being wasted. Debates are not taking place here. Former president has also expressed his anguish over this thing. There are many important things that are pending over there, right? And many important things are passed without any discussion, like MP salary. Other thing is this Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, very important act. It is amended now, and as per this latest amendment, you cannot scrutinize all these foreign donations that are being received by political parties till 1976. From now till this big, you can say nearly, we are talking about 35-40 years, isn't it? 1976 to 2018. All these foreign donations that are received by these political parties cannot be scrutinized because of this amendment. This is a big thing that has been passed without any debate or discussion. Then you also see this thing that relationship between at present government and opposition is at its worst. There is a serious, or you can say big valleys have been developed between this government and opposition. Government is arrogant because it has brute majority. Opposition is not ready to listen to, even many times government has said that they are ready to discuss anything, but they are not cooperating. Within this opposition, you find that they are having this differences between them as well at political level, and this is creating problems in the parliament too. We used to see this sort of things in Rajiv Gandhi's case as well. Means opposition used to boycott the parliament, but things were not this much hyper. If you go back in the history, then we find that it was a bit better. But nowadays we have lost all our dignity. Particularly I'm talking about politicians, right? On one side you see this prime minister, he used to bow down to this on his first day, right? He touched his forehead to the entrance of the parliament as a mark of respect. But now we see that the opposition parties, their MPs are suspended, and there is a reason behind it as well, the way they are behaving. Then Aadhaar has been passed as a money bill. You can ask this question too, or we can ask this question to ourselves and to our representatives, that when there was this ruckus going on during this budget session, you have passed this budget, but why can't we discuss on this no confidence movement, and why we are stalling this thing, blaming that this ruckus is not allowing us to conduct any business and things like that. Now, rules and regulations are applied on everyone, isn't it? But our parliamentarians, they are not following any rules and regulations. What we are seeing nowadays is that small or regional matters like Andhra Pradesh matter and Tamil Nadu matters, these matters are sabotaging our whole parliament. Parliament is for the nation, and small, or you can say regional issues, are basically disrupting our whole nation's parliament. If we go back in 1950s and 60s, then we find these all important leaders, they got elected because of their parliamentary skills. Nowadays what we find is that if you are good with camera, right, if you can present yourselves very well in front of camera, because nowadays religion, caste, money and local factors are becoming more and more important to book your seat in the parliament, and this is a very sad scenario of our democracy. Other thing is MPs are their main role to discuss and to improve the functioning of parliament is one of their main role, and represent their own constituency, of course. But nowadays they are working more like a municipal corporator or a Zilla chief, because they have to fix this drains, and nursery admissions as well is something that is a duty of, or this is some extra burden that has been added on our MPs. So these are the things, right? These are some examples. Then there could be many other examples as well. You can add on to the things that we have discussed here. But if you find a question like this one, that is parliament becoming irrelevant, discuss, then these are the points that you can use in against this thing, that yes, parliament, or if you want to say that yes, parliament is becoming more and more irrelevant. These are your answers, your 3 questions based on Baba Saheb, and that's everything. Make sure you check out StudyIQ.com for pen drive and tablet courses. I will see you all soon. Jai Hind.